Hello, hello. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to the Flight Sim world, everyone. This is Viperstrike 95 Flight Sim, and we are back with our around the world trip today. This is day 31 of our trip, and today we're going to be heading out to Santiago, Chile, the capital city. We're going to be doing some pretty nice G flying across this part of the country. So I hope everyone's doing well here today. Happy Friday and happy weekend to all you guys. I hope you guys are going to have a great weekend today. So this will be one of the two flights this weekend. We got one on Sunday over to Antofagasta. So should be a really nice flight. So today we're going to be, we're back here at Concepcion Airport at Carriel Sur International Airport. So we got a pretty cool flight coming ahead. So before we get started, let me show you guys the flight plan for today's flight. So we'll depart here from Carriel Sur International. So we'll be departing from here. Then from here, we'll just continue on the landscape and fly our way over Chile's landscape. This is a bit a longer leg, but we're going to make our way over to Curacao. At Sierra Charlie, India Charlie, at General Freire Airport, which is a main GA airport, so we'll take a landing here. Then from here will be a shore leg, and we'll head out our way to the big old city of Santiago, which is the capital city of Chile. Should be an absolutely beautiful flight, and we'll be flying through to Chile, and then of course we land at our final stop at Arturo Merino Benitez International, which is the largest international airport in the country. So yeah, that's gonna be on today's flight plan, guys. So I'm gonna rumble into the chat and say hello. Good to see you, my trusty moderator, Super Typhon. Excellent having you here today, my dude. Great to see you as always. And I want to say also hello to all the lurkers in chat. What's going on, everyone? So today we'll be taking out the Cessna 172 today. Again, this is going to be a shorter GA flight, so we're going to be taking the good old, beautiful Cessna 172, the trusty, reliable workhorse of the aviation world. So, should be a nice trip. So, I know I want to get more aircraft, but trying to save as much money for that 777, so that's probably what. So there's a couple of some really cool stuff I want planned. I think for next week, we're gonna be in Bolivia next week. We're gonna I believe we're gonna have 2 flights into Bolivia. We'll be checking one flight into the administrative capital, one of the capitals, Santa Cruz de la Sierra, and then the other one all the way to La Paz Airport, which is the largest city in Bolivia, La Paz. But we're going to be doing 2 flights into Bolivia. That's what we're going to be doing. That's what we're going to be doing next week. So, yeah, I can't believe we're going to be going through Latin America this quickly. So the cruise altitude for this leg of the trip is actually going to be 8,000 feet. But that's mainly going to be in the second leg. But for leg 1, we can fly up to 3,500 feet. That would be our first leg safe altitude is 3,500 feet. can fly at the altitude for leg number 1 of the trip. The second leg, however, is going to be at 8,000 feet, and that's because we're going to be going through some of the hills and stuff in this area, so we're going to see some pretty nice scenery in this part of Chile. So we're going to see some nice stuff here today. I mean, Chile is a very pretty country. Last week, if Sunday was to show for it, that was a absolutely gorgeous flight. Flying over the mountains of the Chilean Andes, and just going through a lot of the beautiful scenery. It was just gorgeous. It was such a pretty flight. I got plenty of pictures and stuff. Let's go ahead and depart. Yeah, I'm glad to see you guys here as always. Now, of course, when we get through the later half of this journey, the next couple parts of this journey, we will be taking some turboprop planes with us, and that's because if you know anything about the parts we're going to be flying to next week, a lot of it's going to be at really high altitudes. Like we're going to be really high into the air, so we're going to need some turboprop planes to get to these altitudes. That's why we're going to be taking turboprops for the next couple streams, because normal GA planes just don't work at that altitude. They just don't. Hey, good to see you, Jocko Straight. Good to see you. Thank you so much for the follow, my dude. Good to see you as always. Welcome on in. It's great to see a new face around here. So we're here doing day 31 of our all countries trip. We'll be flying in Chile today. Should be a good flight. We're going to be flying pretty high up there today. Yo, yo, good to see you. First time in chat. Yo, yo. Good to see you. So we're going to be climbing to 3,500 feet for this first leg. So we're going to be visiting Santiago, Chile. What's happening? Yep, we're going to be doing our flight over from Concepcion to Santiago, Chile today. So we're flying this. We're doing an around the world trip. I started this back in on New Year's Eve, so we're doing this trip here. So we're doing day 31. We're entering into Curacao for the first leg, to the city of Curacao. Then for Curacao, we're going to make our way over to the capital city of Chile, Santiago. and we'll be into the big international airport, Arturo Merino Benitez Airport. So that's where we're going to be heading to today. But yeah, it's an absolutely gorgeous location. So that's what we're doing today. We're taking the Cessna 172, and we're going to take the 172 here today. We're going to do some TA flying. Also along this route, we will also be talking about some of my research I worked on. I compiled my research for today's stream, which will be talking about the government, economy, and transportation. Or actually just talking about government and economy today. So that's what we're doing today. I got a whole slideshow of stuff. Because I'm saving the culture, Chile, and stuff on Sunday. I worked on notes. I'm trying to space out these notes since we're going to be flying these places for a bit. I'm trying to work on spacing out the notes. Trying to space things out a bit. If you, I got my Discord as well. If you're interested, I got me my Discord as well. I got that set up. If you guys want to join it in, it's also in addition to my series we've been working on. We also got information about my previous series. I worked on a 1926 Lufthansa Berlin to Beijing flight, all the way back in like a 2022, 2020, early 23, 2022, and most recently in 2023, the DC-3 Around the World Recreation flight. So these are my previous other series I've done. The Berlin DC-3 flight was my very first ever around the world flight in the sim, by the way. And I did that to commemorate the DC-3 coming to Microsoft Flight Sims. I thought that would be a really cool way to commemorate that series. Oh, don't worry. I'm keeping it non-political, my dude. Don't worry. I'm not going to bring politics into this. It's just general information. I'm not going into the politics of it. So, I'm just telling you straight up, I'm not dealing with the politics. Thank you very much. I just wanted to give you some general information, like what type of government they have, how is their legislative system ordered, and all that. That's just how far government and politics stuff I'm willing to go. And I mainly do history and stuff, but like I said, just so don't worry about it. Yeah, the landscape here is just gorgeous today. What a gorgeous day in Chile. So yeah, if you have any questions, do let me know. I'm be more than happy to answer live your questions. So we're gonna go ahead and talk a little bit about the Chilean government. So I'm going to talk about how the government system in Chile works. So I want to go ahead and talk a little bit about this. Oops. So for Chilean government, the current constitution in Chile was drafted in 1980 by Jaime Guzman and approved via a national plebiscite, which is basically a direct vote. In September of that year, under the military dictatorship at the time of Augusto Pinochet, who was a very controversial figure in Chile. After his death, the Constitution was amended to ease provisions for future amendments. And there's even more stuff in 2005, limiting positions appointing senators, granting the president authority to remove commander in chief, and reducing the presidential term to 4 years. The judiciary is independent and includes a court of appeal, system of military courts, and a constitutional tribunal in the Supreme Court of Chile, with more overhaul stuff in 2005 to overhaul the justice system and reform to replace with laws similar to that of the United States. And then for parliamentary elections, from 1989 to 2013, they used a binominal system, which established the 2 majority political blocs at the expense of non-majority political groups. So that's changed since 2015 for a more proportional electoral system to allow new parties and coalitions into the government. And basically, the Congress of Chile has a 50-seat Senate and a 155-member Chamber of Deputies. The senators serve 8 years. Hey, Serrano Michelson, good to see ya. Good to see you, my dude. I hope you're doing well. So we're heading to Santiago today. We're heading to Santiago. We start from Concepcion, where we ended up on last Friday, and we're heading up all the way to the Santiago state capital via Curacao is going to be our first stop. So we're just doing some flying in Chile today. This area is absolutely gorgeous. Chile, if you guys haven't flown Chile, it's definitely well worth it. I did flow into Chile a while back, starting from Mendoza. We went up through on one of the roads up there, and it was just absolutely incredible flying. That was very pretty. And it was just beautiful flying into Santiago and Valparaiso. I mean, just gorgeous area. Like, there's so many great places to fly in South America in the sim. Like, I know a lot of people like flying in the United States, but so much in. Hey, I get that a lot. I'm chill, okay? I wish it was more exciting, but I'm just very chill. That's just the way I am, and I don't want to be too crazy. I'm not that kind of person. So that's what I'm doing. So one of the big things about Chile, I wonder if you guys want me to recap from last week, basically about Chile. For geography-wise, it's actually one of the world's longest countries north to south. It actually stretches over 2,600 miles north to south. So in the widest point east to west is only just 217 miles at its widest point, with the narrowest being only just 40 nautical miles, which is pretty crazy. And this allows for a wide range of climates and landscapes, from arid deserts in the north to more oceanic and polar climates into the south, and more temperate climates down south. You also have some sort of Mediterranean climate in the middle of the Central Valley. It's got a Mediterranean-type climate. Chile also has a lot of seismic and volcanic activity because it's part of the Pacific Ring of Fire, so it gives you lots of volcanoes and earthquakes. And it turns out that also Chile also controls Easter Island, which is actually among the easternmost islands in all of Polynesia in 1888. And Chile has a wide range of biodiversity, including animals like the Andean condor, which is the national bird, as well as the guanaco, the puma, and the South American gray fox, the Chile. But but I tell you one thing, Chile is an absolute gorgeous place. I really do recommend it. No, no, please. No thanks, Soriano. I'm not gonna need any discords. I don't need any bots or anything to help me get more followers. Thank you very much. I'm happy with the followers I have. I'm not gonna do anything more to get more followers. I'd rather get them organically than to get bots or anything. Very much. Yes, bots lead to bans. Thank you, Typhon. Yes, I don't want bots because that's going to lead to bans, and that is not what I want. So please have none of that in my Discord. No, please. Yeah, that's right. You got banned. You can't share links. Thank you very much. So where we are right now is we're flying around the Central Valley of Chile. Um, it's one of the natural regions here in the country, and basically, for those who don't know, the Central Valley, the Central Zone, one of the five regions we're at right now, and it's basically home to the three largest metropolitan areas, and it's home to the majority of the population, which is Santiago, Valparaiso, and Concepcion. So we're in the central part of the country, which is much more climate-wise is like the Mediterranean. For example, the high temperatures are about 80 degrees in the summer and 59 degrees Fahrenheit in the winter months. Whereas in Concepcion in the south, it's around 73 degrees in the summer, but higher in the winter, 55 degrees. And basically, because we're so far south, basically the winter months are like November and stuff, whereas the winter months in this part is actually in June and July. That's because we're in the southern hemisphere, and basically climate is basically the opposite of what is in the north. And also around this area too, we have the Chilean coastal range, which is basically um, a mountain range that runs along the Chilean coast. So So look at my map. You can definitely see. That's where we are right now. So you can see all in my map. Check this out over here. So if you can see here on the map, you can see the terrain map on my little map. You can see the different coastal mountain range all across this area. Let me make this even easier. See off the airports. Actually, see the map. Full screen. You can see here we have this is all part of the Chilean coastal range. Is all this area. It goes through here to Valdivia, all across Concepcion. It goes all the way to the part with Santiago and stuff, and it goes back into Chile. So all that's within that mountain range. Thank you, Typhon. Look, I'm a chill guy, and I'm usually chill, and I'm not the type of guy who does a lot of stuff, but if you keep being mean to me like that, and keep saying all that message about that, and keep being disrespectful, just please, there's limits. Like, I'm chill dude, and I don't like doing this sort of stuff to people because I'm chill. Just, there's a time and place for everything, but please don't. Let's take a look at the scenery on here today. Yeah, it's definitely really cool to see the coastal mountain range again. A lot of it is pretty low mountains, not one's pretty tall. There's all sorts of different little mountain ranges. Some of the highest points on that range are around 10,000 feet in elevation, and they go around over 1,900 miles from north to south. So that's all across a lot of central Chile. A lot of it's from there. And also, fun fact about central Chile is also where you can find some of the best wine in the country made here in Chile. In fact, Chileans have even ranked pretty high in international competitions too. So definitely, this area is definitely very good for a lot of the wine in the country area. And that's due to the fact that Chileans' climate actually plays into its favor. We're just about 200 nautical miles from our final destination in Santiago. And if we count by minus 40, that's about 200 nautical miles. So let's see how far we are from first off. I think we're going to be here for a bit of a while, about an hour or something. Okay, we're about 100 nautical miles from our first stop, so that's how far we have to go. So about 100 more nautical miles. So. We also visited quite a few other regions in Chile. We last week we checked out the southern region, which is Zona Azor, which is one of the 5 natural. We checked out the Zona Astral last week when we did the jet flight. We in that part there is the Chilean portion of Patagonia, which is what we visited, was Chilean Patagonia. It was absolutely gorgeous though, with all the fjords and glaciers and mountains. That was absolutely stunning. And that was a lot of fun with the fire jets. That was a ton of fun. Um, check that out. That was a bunch of fun. And there's so many really cool areas in that region. It's also home to tons of national parks around this area, like Torres de Paine in Argentina. That's in Argentina, but Torres de Paine is one of Chile's favorite national parks. That was gorgeous. Porto Williams and all that. Tons of national parks and glaciers and ice fields. That was a lot. That was a lot of fun. I greatly enjoyed that kind of flight. That was a ton of fun. Also, San Rafael, like Laguna San Rafael National Park, Patagonia National Park, like that was just fun. And then we visit Zona Sur, which is the southern zone. That was also really nice as well. Tons of volcanoes in that region as well. There were a ton of volcanoes. And in fact, the world's most powerful earthquake happened during in that region. Huge stuff. Now, we're not visiting Easter Island because Easter Island is no joke, a very, very long flight. Like, no joke, it's a 2,000 nautical mile flight from Santiago. I'm not doing that kind of flight. That's a long haul. That's a long haul if I've ever seen one. Arash did it. It took him 5 hours. Yeah. I've already done plenty of long flights on my channel. During my DC-3 flights, I did 8 hours, which was the longest one. That was in Alaska, Japan to Aleutians. That took 8 hours in a DC-3. And mind you, that was in a DC-3, and that wasn't that much, but that was A320. At least that he had autopilot working for that. I mean, I had it too. Still, we're not gonna be going to Easter Island in this series, so maybe I guess I could do a bonus flight after next Wednesday's stream. I guess next on Sunday stream I might even have enough time for a bonus trip into Easter Island, just to probably show you guys around a little bit, since that is a part of Chile. going to be heading our way over to beautiful. We're going to head our way over to our first stop pretty soon. So the scenery here is absolutely gorgeous. So if you look in their distance, to our right, we can see the Andes mountain range. And that goes all the way down. It actually, believe it or not, starts all the way in Venezuela. Let me get our nav map here. Show you guys what I'm talking about. So it starts all the way in Venezuela, and it goes all the way down. It goes to Colombia, then Ecuador, but of course much of Peru, across the entire part of Peru, Bolivia, which we will be visiting next week. Then it's split between Argentina and Chile, and it goes all the way down to south area of the region of Patagonia, all the way down to Oak. So basically, that is the Andes, and it goes all the way across. So much of the flying we're going to be doing for the next couple weeks is going to be across the Andes. So we're going to have some high altitude planes for those kind of flights. That means no Cessna 172s and all that. It has to be the turboprop. That's going to be the only way we're going to be going over those terrain. So, just telling you guys straight up, that's what we're going to have to be doing for the next sort of stream and stuff. So in terms of flight sim stuff and content, there really isn't much news for MSFS. But there is, 29 Palms did release Santorini Island Airport in the sim, which if you guys know about Santorini, it's a very popular travel destination in Greece. Well, guess what? They now get to actually release it in the sim. Santorini, officially known as Theria, is the breathtaking island in the southern Aegean Sea, about 200 kilometers from mainland Greece. It spans 73 square kilometers of area. Known for its caldera, it's one of the largest volcano eruptions in history 3,600 years ago. And it's world renowned for its beautiful village, give you world renowned views. And now they recreated it in a natural scenery. And 29 Palms Island scenery is meticulously created add-on, which adds Stunning Creek Island, featuring not only the airport, but the entire island itself, which is really cool. Like the fact that you managed to bring an airport and the fact that you did the entire island as well was really, really cool. Looks really, really great. And it's also got mesh terrain for the scenery. The airport details very detailed with windsocks, antenna, custom VOR, taxi, runway signs, lights, light poles, apron vehicles, and lighting. All sorts of buildings and vegetation you can find in real life. Ports in various interests. And animation AI traffic like AI vessel traffic, ferries, and boats. And get this, it's actually pretty not a bad price. 21 euros, which is not bad at all. Trust me, there have been worse series that are more expensive than this one. So if you like flying into Greece like Santorini, this would be a great option. Looks great. In terms of other flight sim news, Bluebird Simulations shared another video update from this month, including a brand new sound preview. Again, I've been waiting for that 7.5 for years now. Apparently, it's not going to be released until later this year, maybe not even until 2025. I understand they wanted to make it really good, and I don't blame them. But I have a lot of respect for the dev team. They want to get this right, which, to be fair, is true. But they worked very hard on it. They added audio work from Boris, who's made plenty of add-ons for their sound packs. And they also say they put a lot of detail with the circuit breakers and all that. And they did a lot of adjustment stuff. But man, that 757 is going to be a day one buy for me easily. I'm a huge fan of the 757 planes myself. In terms of other news, in 2 weeks, on June 14th, we're getting a new freeware Frankfurt airport. Now, we're going to get one from Aerosoft soon, but we're actually going to get a freeware from Eviotech. And I gotta say, it actually looks pretty nice, especially for freeware, for God's sakes. I mean, we had some great freeware airports, mainly with Aerosoft's Paderborn airports, and of course, you can't forget about the one in FSTO about Gatwick. The London Gatwick series, super cool. Now we're going to get a freeware Frankfurt featuring full renditions of Terminal 1 and 2, including concourses, remote stands, cargo areas, custom animated jetway GSX profile, extremely detailed aprons with custom vehicles, terminal interiors so you can disable them for performance to improve performance, custom ground profile, custom POIs around the area, updated taxi layout, including the new GA apron, custom HDR light, and much, much more. And it's going to be freeware. A freeware Frankfurt. That's going to be really nice for all those who wanted a freeware. I know a lot of people want to wait for the Frankfurt, but if you don't like the price of the payware Frankfurt, you can always get the freeware one. And it was... yes, I'm eager for that too. The 7.5, yes, that. Because, like I said, I do enjoy the 737 PMDG planes, but they're great for the short haul stuff. And then, of course, you got the 777 that's going to be in the fleet. That's going to be the long haul plane for me. But it's nice that we're going to get the 7.5 because it's going to be for the medium haul stuff, or for the high traffic areas that are too big for the 7.3 in demand, but yet it's too, yet it would be that's too much traffic for a 7.3, but not enough to fill a 777. So get 7.5. And yet the 7.6 as well, because I've seen a few of them out of SDF, which is my home airport. Yeah, by Morningstar 767 by Cargo Jet. Yeah, absolutely, Typhon. That's 100% correct. And of course, I see plenty of 7.5s and 7.6 by UPS, since you guys do know UPS operates out of my home commercial airport, Louisville International. Kilo Sierra Delta Foxtrot. So that's why I'm really looking forward for that 7.5. That's a SoFly actually also has added some new stuff for SoFly. This is their Eco Soundscapes for MSFS. They've added some new sound variations to many parts of the world, including jungle, cities, beaches, towns, and forests will all benefit from sound immersion, and over 200 airports have been manually edited for the sound immersion. Using the modern WWI's technology. In addition to the new sounds, there's also a new in-sim menu, and allowing the simmers to adjust the flight preferences to their desire. You can control the master volume or each individual sound type. So pretty cool stuff to add into the store. It's going to come out to on its own store and exclusive for Orbax. It will also come to PC and Xbox in the near future in the in-sim marketplace. Definitely pretty cool to actually see some more sound immersions, which is actually great to have more sound stuff. If you guys like immersion stuff, this would definitely be a very nice addition to your lineup. I know it may not be for me, but I know a lot of people that would like to have a product like this. Add that much needed immersion to the sim. So it's definitely gonna be pretty cool. Other news as well. So there really isn't too much news. I know on X-Plane, you guys did see it Wednesday, the Flight Factor 777 V2. Oh man, I can't believe the X-Plane guys are going to get a really nice looking 777. Oh, it's going to make me miss the one for MSFS. Oh man, yeah, you guys probably know how I feel. But I know we also did get to see Merv also show off the E-Jet freighter, and that actually looks pretty good. I mean, that plane has really come along since it was released um by Flight Sim Studio. It's come a long way um since it was early access. I mean, it's definitely improved into a fine plane itself. Like, I'm probably gonna wait till it finally gets complete, but I respect Flight Sim Studio continuously updating the plane. I respect the fact they've been working very hard on improving it. I mean, as soon as it gets VNAV stuff and all that implemented, then I'm definitely going to get it. Like I said, a regional jet has been something that I would really like to have, and I think it would be a great addition to the hangar. So I would be pretty excited for that. So pretty cool stuff. Um, so in terms of other stuff too, I got some sports news I'd like to cover. So for the NBA playoffs, well, it's been a while since I covered it. Well, they now set the NBA finals for basketball, as it would be the Dallas Mavericks versus the Boston Celtics. I mean, pretty crazy stuff for the NBA playoffs. So the one seed in the East is going to take on the number 5 seed in the West. I mean, it's going to be crazy. I mean, think about this. On one hand, for the Celtics, you got an unbelievably stacked team in Boston. I mean, they were the best team in the NBA that this. They were led by superstar Jason Tatum. They also had veterans like Al Horford, Kristaps Porzingis. I know he's injured. Jaylen Brown, and more. They got a pretty great team as well. All around, just a great team. And on the other hand, you have the Dallas Mavericks, who are led by possibly the best player in the league in Luka Doncic, as well as veteran Kyrie Irving. Pretty crazy stuff in the NBA playoffs. It should be a fun one for sure. I think Boston's still going to probably win since they're the overwhelming favorites. But who knows? I mean, Dallas made it very, very far, so I'm not going to underestimate the Mavericks in that finals. Should be a good. Yeah, we're not too far away from our final, so let's see how far I am from my finals. Okay, 50 nautical miles. So we just got about 30 something minutes left. So we know how much farther. So I want to take a look at the scenery outside, and yeah, it is absolutely gorgeous. Scenery is fantastic here. I mean, like, some people think South America doesn't have good data, but it actually sees right now South America's got some pretty nice data right now, as you guys can tell. Hey, Quartz, good to see you, my dude. Welcome on in. I hope you're doing well. Shout out for Quartz, good friend of mine in the community. Good to see you, my dude. Here you go, my dude. You're more than welcome, my dude, Quartz. So we're in Chile right now. We're going to be flying all the way to Santiago today. We just started in Concepcion back, and we're heading our way over to first stop to Curacao, and then from Curacao we'll be checking out the Chilean capital city of Santiago. So right on the base of the Andes. In fact, you can actually see the outline of the Andes all the way up here, is Andes Mountains. So we did last week. If you were there last week, we started off with the jet fire ops out of Ushuaia, and we made our way through the Patagonian National Parks because I thought that would be the perfect time to bring jets. Just take a look at the scenery and stuff. We went to El Calife, and then to the village of Balmaceda. So we traveled through quite a few national parks, mainly Torres del Paine National Park and Laguna San Rafael National Park mainly. But we traveled through a lot of beautiful mountains. This part of the world may be among the prettiest in the world. No joke. That's what we're doing here. Now on Sunday, we're going to fly from Santiago over to one of Chile's other most important cities, Antofagasta. We'll also be paying a visit to the tallest mountain in the entire Andes, Aconcagua. Aconcagua, which is the tallest point in the Andes. We'll check out that mountain, make it to La Serena, and then make it to Antofagasta to end our journey in Chile before next week we're going to be in Bolivia, or 2 streams in Bolivia. Then I believe it's going to be 2 or 3 streams, 2 or 3 streams in Peru. Then we'll visit Ecuador, checking that out. We might even do a bonus one into the Galapagos, because I definitely want to talk about the Galapagos Islands a bit, but I don't want to fly all the way there. So that's what I'm going to try and plan things out to be within the next. This sea here is Talca. Here's the Chilean Sea of Talca here in our in front of us. we're going to be near here Curacao pretty shortly. So we're just about 40 miles from our first stop at Curacao. So Curacao will be our first stop for today. No, not Lone Avenue. So Curacao, or Curacao. Curacao is the capital of its own province, part of the Mall region of Chile. This city is well known for its distinct products like cakes, fruits, cement, sugar, tomato sauce, and high-quality export wines. It serves as a major service hub in the central region. It's considered Chile's agro-industrial capital due to its consistent economic growth. Its history dates back all the way to 1743. It was founded as San Jose do Buena Vista de Curacao through donations from residents. During the governor of Chile and the Viceroy of Peru, despite its strategic location, the city struggled with small population and conservative influence for local converts and aristocratic families. The oldest and most valuable building in the city is La Iglesia San Francisco, or San Francisco's church, built in 1734 and came to its current location in 1759. The city's hero is Luis Cruz Martinez, who is a Chilean military figure. It also was impacted by the 2010 Chilean earthquake, which had a magnitude of 8.8 on the Richter scale, and it caused the collapse of its historic district, where 6% of its houses and 90% of its district remain unreconstructed. It's also got a strong local identity, fostered by its good neighborhood atmosphere and its local traditions. The city hosts its own wine festival, the Fiesta de la Vendimia, the Wine Harvest Festival, annually from March 15th to March 20th of the year, and reflects its rich tradition of Creole culture and city history, with over 5 centuries of winemaking here. It's also known for its traditional cakes known as tortas piracantas. In fact, at even one point, it even gained international recognition by creating the world's largest cake for Guinness World Records. Unfortunately, San Francisco Church was destroyed by the earthquake, sadly. So, and it's known for its bicycle culture as well. So, that's a little bit about the city of Curacao. Just a little bit about this Chilean city. Yeah, just beautiful mountain range here. The Chilean coastal range, absolutely pretty up here. Chile is just such a fun country to just take a GA plane and just fly around. You got mountains, you got valleys. Like in the central part, you got like mountains and valleys there. In the north, you got desert and lots of mountains and deserts up there in the north. And then in the south, you got the fjords and glaciers. Mountains, fjords, glaciers, lots of lakes. Beautiful area to take aircraft. Like there's so many things that I really do enjoy with flying in Chile. I really do enjoy flying too. Definitely one of my favorites in South America. So yeah, according to my map, we are just about we're not far away. We can see it here on the map. And we're prepared for our first leg of the day. We don't really have that much further left to go. Thankfully, the next leg is going to be a much shorter one. And that's going to be just a 100 nautical mile leg. So we don't really have that much more to go. We're going to make our way here pretty soon. Um, for the rest of the leg, we'll be talking about rest of the trip. We'll talk about the economy of Chile and the tourism and stuff. And we'll talk all about Santiago, which is the capital city of Chile. And that one would be very interesting to talk about. So, a little bit of more information about the 2010 earthquake that happened in central Chile. It actually happened not far from the area we're visiting. Magnitude of 8.8 on the magnitude scale. It shook 3 minutes. It was felt in 6 different Chilean regions, from Valparaiso in the north to Araucanía in the south, which make up 8% of its population, and it was very severe. And the ones suffered the most were Concepcion, Arauco, and Coronel. In fact, the earthquake was powerful enough to even be felt in some Argentinian cities like Buenos Aires, Cordoba, Mendoza, and La Rioja. And they could be felt as far north as southern Peru, which is about 1,500 miles away. And the largest to hit Chile since 1960, which I talked about the Valdivia earthquake. And it caused a tsunami which devastated several coastal towns in south central Chile. And even minor damage in San Diego as well. Caused 525 dead. And apparently, according to insurance, it would have costed around $15 to $30 billion to the Chilean economy. Pretty cool stuff. So, oh, okay, I need to put back my music again. We're going to descend to 2,000 feet and we'll make our first landing of the day here at Sierra Charlie, India Charlie. we're going to descend down to 1,500 feet and prepare for our first landing of the day. If you guys want to check out our landing, do exclamation point predict, type in a negative number, and get ready for landing. Here we go, guys. We're not far at all from our first lane of the day here in. So, we'll be making our way soon. We'll just land at. We're going to land at runway 01. So this is Carico, right on the shores of the banks of Ilantu River in the eastern Guaculio rivers. Now, this area around this area is some of the most fertile farmland in all of Chile. We'll talk about its agriculture soon, because it turns out Chile is actually quite a powerful agricultural nation. We'll talk about that when we get to the economy of Chile. That would be very important. Go. Altitude autopilot off. Airport is actually down over here by the hill. Right over here. But don't worry, we will take the DC-3 again soon. I promise to take the DC-3 again during one of these Alps journeys because they have flown in these mountains before. But mainly we're going to take the turboprops. No? The good old 172, an easy plane to take off and land. Woo-hoo. All right, first lane of the day is -241 on land rate monitor. Oh yeah, and speaking about FS Hub, I will talk more about that once we get back into the air. But there were actually some pretty big news for FS Hub, so that I do want to get to pretty soon. So I'm gonna park right here, right here. So we'll be parking right here, and and so we'll be parking right here. If you guys want to join on in this flight and join me on the last leg of the flight, I'm on the Southeast Asian server. Do !point server. You guys will get my server information. So, !point server. So, the big news for FS Hub, if you guys don't know, that's actually where you can find our virtual airline, Firefly Air. But there is some huge news. According to Bobby, who's the founder of FS Hub, he had a huge no news for May. He's now that he actually now have VATSIM and Aveo tracking for VATSIM and Aveo flights, which is going to be huge for our airline because we're now doing VATSIM stuff. Also, native X-Plane support on Linux and Mac, which is really nice news. But the big news is for SimConnect Climate. It's going to drop not this Friday, but the next Friday. Is going to be a new SimConnect feature client, which is going to be huge because I know some people have issues with UIPC. I'm not having any issues with it, but other people actually are having issues with it. So that's a huge news. That's going to help a lot of pilots, and I might transition into that myself when it comes. I'm going to be looking forward to that. And speaking of VATSIM, I also have downloaded Bpilot. I got the VATSIM climate thing installed, and I'm currently going to go through some VATSIM training. So hopefully, I'm looking back at the ground school stuff that Murph did, and all that, so I can prepare to fly VATSIM with the Firefly. So I might be able, if I'm good enough, I could do some VATSIM stuff on the Wednesday streams. And mainly I'm going to do flights. I'm going to start probably doing some of those flights in Ireland, like maybe Dublin over to Liverpool or Manchester, or Dublin over to Cork or Killarney or Connaught or Belfast. Probably do something that simple, then eventually work on the United States and do some East US stuff out of Pittsburgh. Maybe just do some simple flying in there. But I really can't wait to start working on some bats and stuff. I think that would be really, really cool for me to do some Batson work. I think you guys will probably like it too. Um, I think you guys are gonna might really like it. I know I'm pretty skilled when I pick things up. I'm actually pretty confident quite a few things, so maybe Batson wouldn't be that big of a deal. But I'm gonna take this train slow and maybe get some people to help me out whenever the time comes. But yeah, Batsim, I really am hoping I get to actually do that because I think you guys would be really interested to see how well I do Batsim. Oh, and hey, Mr. 90, good to see you. Unfortunately, no new aero economy yet, Mr. 90. I know Bobby's been really busy trying to get the SimConnect client for FS Hub, for the land rate monitor. Like that's a very big deal for him because I know a lot of pilots sometimes have issues with FSGIPC. And he's just working on some client support for X-Plane. That's been the most recent FS Hub news. So, but I wish we had more air economy news. That's what I wish. Because I worked on so much admin work for Two-Tone, for Two-Tone Murphy, that I'm gonna have to wait. As soon as I hear news of that, I'll probably let people know. So we're gonna climb up to 8,000 feet for this next leg. It's gonna be the shorter of the two legs, but we will be climbing nine. We're gonna be climbing to 8,000 feet. So we're gonna be going up much higher. So I'm gonna go ahead and talk about our slideshow a bit more. So let's talk about Chile's economy. Chile's economy, by the way, the central bank of Chile is the central bank, and its currency is the Chilean peso. Has been around since 1975. It's actually one of South America's most stable and prosperous nations, leading Latin American nations in human development, competitiveness, globalization, economic freedom, and low perception of corruption. And it's considered to be a high-income economy by the World Bank. It also has lots of economic freedom in South America. It's the highest degree of economic freedom in South America, 22nd worldwide. And in 2006, it became the country with the highest nominal GDP per capita in Latin America, and it's now third, but it's still one of the top three in all of Latin America for GDP per capita. And a lot of it is due to its mineral resources, especially copper mining, because it makes up 20% of Chile's GDP is copper mining. And you can find some of the world's largest copper mines on Earth. And Chile also has lots of sound economic policies since the 1980s, has contributed to Chile's steady growth and half the poverty rates. Yeah, there was some bit of downturn with the Great Recession and all that, but however, it's continued to grow more and more. Though there has been labor shortages recently, and it has signed some free trade agreements with a number of countries, including one with the United States, as well as a strong new trade relationship with Asia. But the big thing that really helped grow Chile's economy is its mineral resources. Chile is no joke, really rich in mineral resources, especially copper and lithium, especially those two. In fact, due to the importance of lithium for batteries and electric vehicles and stabilization of grids, Chile could be strengthened geopolitically. However, it's been criticized by a lot of people for underestimating the power of economic incentives. However, in 2019, Chile is the world's largest producer of copper, iodine, and rhenium, second largest producer of lithium and molybdenum, which basically that element is mainly used. Basically, this element is mainly used as a um, it occurs in oxidation states in several other minerals, and it's mainly used for breaking the chemical bond of nitrogen. It's also one of the largest producers, sixth largest in silver, seventh largest producer of salt, eighth largest producer of potash, 13th in sulfur, and in iron ore. There's also considerable gold production, as around 35 tons of gold in 2017, though there's still less than normal. In fact, the picture here is actually the largest open pit copper mine at Chuquicamata mine, which is about northeast of it as well. In fact, it's actually massive. They actually put massive amounts of copper, and it goes all the way to 2,700 feet deep, making it the second deepest mine in the world, only behind Bingham Canyon mine in Utah. So there's a lot of and in fact, I think we could also see the mine up here too. I think we'll fly over it when we get to part of the world. We'll visit the mine, but this area over here has got some really cool. Pretty cool stuff. Another thing that Chile is known for is agriculture. So Chile's agriculture is also very important because of its wide-ranging climate, geography, and geology. Agriculture is quite diverse here in Chile. Even though they only account for 4% of the GDP, they also employ 13% of its labor force. In terms of production, Chile is one of the 5 largest world producers of cherry and blueberries. They're often grown here. They also grow other producers. They're also one of the top 10 world's largest producers of grapes, apples, kiwi, peach, plums, and hazelnuts, which they mainly focus on high-valued fruits. Other products include pears, onions, wheat, maize, oats, garlic, asparagus, beans, beef, poultry, wool, fish, timber, and hemp. Due to its strict geographic isolation and custom policies, it's free of diseases and pests like mad cow disease, fruit fly, and the great phylloxera. And due to its unique location, it's actually pretty unique. And thanks to its location as well as its wide range of conditions, give it a huge advantage in agriculture. However, due to the mountains, it also limits the extent of its agriculture. It's also it's also the world's second largest producer of salmon after Norway, responsible for 26% of the global supply. And Chile, most recently, is also among the top 10 wine producers, being at 6th place in 2018. So, pretty big stuff in Chile. So, pretty cool stuff about Chile's agriculture. In terms of tourism, Chile has also gained big growth in tourism over the past few decades. In 2005, tourism grew by 13%, generating more than $4.5 billion. And nearly 2 million people visit the country every year, and most come from the other countries in the American continent, like Argentina, followed by the United States, Europe, and Brazil, with a growing Asian tourist populations from Korea and China. But one of the great things about Chile's tourism is mainly with natural beauty in the extreme zones of the country. In the north, you have the San Pedro de Atacama, which checks out the Incan architecture, and the Valley of the Moon, the El Valle de la Luna. And then in the south, of course, you got Congulio National Park, and of course, you can't forget Patagonia with Laguna San Rafael and Torres del Paine National Parks. And of course, you have Valparaiso as well. And finally, you also have Easter Island in the Pacific, which you could find many of these figures in Eastern Island. So Chile definitely has a lot of potential for tourists. Tourism definitely like to come visit Chile. And it's definitely on the rise for quite a bit. So that's the main economy slides. I'm going to save the transportation and the cultural slides for Sunday stream. I'm going to save it for Sunday. And I'm going to save those for those streams. So that's going to be next week. That's going to be on Sunday, by the way. So that will be just because I want to give some more. I'm trying to space these out because I don't want to give you too much information overload. If this was only just a small nation, I could give you all those slides at once. But instead, I'd rather do it spacing out the place. And if you guys want me to go back on some slides, do let me know, because I'd be more than happy to help you out with something. And I know a lot of you guys saying, "Oh, Viper, this seems boring." All that. Well, the type of streamer I am, I've mainly been working on just giving you guys information about all the places you fly, and that way you get to learn as you fly. Because I think this would be a great place to learn about the world is by flying in the sim. Because you can fly, it's a one-on-one scale with Earth, and you can fly to everywhere in the world. I think this would be the perfect place to educate and learn more about how we fly. So, I really enjoyed doing that. Always a lot of fun to educate people. I think it's. But yeah, we're getting to some really pretty areas of this area. This is gorgeous. I'm gonna let you guys take a look at the scenery out here in central Chile. And like I said earlier, this is part of the Chilean coastal mountain range. You get some really beautiful mountains and stuff flying into this region. But yeah, I absolutely love my time in Chile. It's such a pretty area. And it's going to get better once we get north, because I really want to check out La Serena. Absolutely gorgeous. Man, that's a stunning area. What a stunning area. I mean, there's so much scenery in this area. Like, the scenery is just superb in this area. And this might be my favorite South American country to fly. It really is. What a great region. Fly. Beautiful, beautiful area, guys. This is why we have to send for flights like this. Hey, Super Tom, good to see ya. Hello, happy Friday to you, my dude. gorgeous. What an absolutely stunning day in Chile. So, of course, we're going to get to our uh, final stop in Santiago, capital city of Chile. It's a really cool city. I've been to Chile. I went to Santiago a while back in Zim, and it was absolutely gorgeous. Though it's a really cool city. It's also a huge city, by the way. If you guys never checked out Santiago, it's huge. Like no joke, it's around like I believe 40% of the population lives in this city. In fact, that might be what I want to do next week, probably. Do some flying around Santiago. Maybe Santiago to Mendoza. Maybe do some shuttle things in South America. I think that would be really cool. Um, but if I want to keep around the hubs, I could do some shuttle ops in Dublin. Maybe Dublin, Bristol shuttle things. Fly back from Bristol over to Dublin. That might be an idea. Or Bristol over to Manchester. Because I do enjoy the shuttle operation stuff. I really did enjoy the Pittsburgh, Washington, D.C. flight Wednesday. That was a lot of fun. So maybe I do something similar for that kind of flight. Because I did enjoy that. Speaking of which, for some of my stuff, I think one of the really cool things about the Wednesday streams is I don't have to fly the airliners. I could also do another general aviation thing as well. Because I really do enjoy like the DC-3. Maybe I take the DC-3 back again. But I mean, I'm probably going to stick to the 737 again. I think I'm going to probably fly the 700 this time. Maybe I could do a cargo shuttle. Maybe Lake Tahoe. Probably Lake Tahoe to that's an interesting question. I could do Tahoe, Vegas, or probably I think I could do Tahoe over to San Francisco. Probably. So again, I already went Tahoe, San Francisco previously. Maybe Salt Lake City, SLC, Salt Lake. Probably get probably do some stuff there. Or probably Reno to Boise or something. I don't know. But I definitely would like to do something more with Tahoe as a hub. It's just my main issue with Tahoe is if I take anything bigger than a 700, I'm going to have a lot more difficulties taking off and landing. And especially with the 777 and more of the larger planes out, like it's just very limiting to fly out Tahoe, sadly. I mean, it's a beautiful airport. It's going to be a pain in the butt to take something large. Because I know one of the streams is going to be a 777 flight, and I can't take it to Tahoe. I'll have to remind myself. It's not big enough. Yeah, I wanted to ask you guys for the weekend. I hope you guys have some really cool plans for this weekend. I know this weekend I'm gonna continue with my virtual airline stuff. I'm trying to catch up to, I gotta catch up to some of the people ahead of me. I'm still, like, I'm fourth, but I'm still way behind, MDA and the rest. So I gotta, like, I'm a bit far behind by like 43,000 behind. So I gotta catch up today and tomorrow. I gotta start catching up. Hey, Red Baron, good to see you, Red Baron. I hope you're doing well, my dude. We're heading to Santiago, Chile. So check out Red Baron's channel here on Twitch. He does stream every once in a while here on Twitch, so give a shout for him and his channel. He's from around my local area, not far from in Louisville, Kentucky. We're heading to Santiago, surrounded by the beautiful Andes mountain range. By the stunning Andes mountain range. Absolutely gorgeous. Period. Haven't got to stream much lately. Oh, no worries. A&P test? Ah, gotcha. Yeah, that's. I don't blame you. Ah, cool. Oh yeah, I think I know what A&P test is. It's aviation maintenance. I just realized. I looked it up what it was. It's aviation maintenance. Cool. That's actually pretty important for the aviation to know about maintenance. Like, maintenance testing and all that stuff is very, very important. Because if you don't do the maintenance and stuff, all sorts of bad things can happen. I don't even know when to begin with maintenance. Hey, thank you, Red Baron. This livery here is actually part of the virtual airline I'm with, Firefly Air. It's on the Two-Toe Murphy website. So that's what our livery is for. It's for the virtual airline Firefly. I fly with Murph's group. And speaking of Murph, he will be flying on later today. He'll be doing a group flight across. He'll be doing a group flight into Colombia in the SCIE-SCIC-SCEL. He'll be on later today. We'll be visiting Colombia in quite a bit of time. We'll be visiting Colombia, not too far in the future. If I get lucky, we could visit it after. Let's 1, 2, 3 flights. We'll be visiting Colombia after the next 7 days are over. We'll get to fly into Colombia. But yeah, Colombia is a really fascinating area to learn about. Oh yeah, absolutely. It needs to be, yeah, maintenance needs to be done right. If you don't, there are so many bad accidents. And I mean, and it's not just general aviation, airliners too. Like a lot of accidents come from bad maintenance, like either bad maintenance with your landing gear parts or bad maintenance with the engines. That's not good at all. Wing maintenance, even like fuel and all that. Like there are so many things that can go wrong in the plane if it's not properly maintained. I mean, I don't even need an aviation degree and all that to learn about that. I just know from my research. So, yeah, this is the central. This is the coastal mountain range of Chile, so you can see all the mountains and stuff here. Absolutely crazy mountain. Again, this is one of the reasons why I love flying to Chile. It's just a beautiful, beautiful sight. There's the one side here's the Andes, and the other side is the Chilean coastal Chilean mountain range, and it's got lakes and stuff. And that is just. Let's go ahead and talk a little bit about Santiago for a bit. Santiago, Santiago, Chile. So Santiago is also known as Santiago de Chile. It is the largest city of Chile and one of the largest cities in the Americas, located in the country's Central Valley. It is the center of its metropolitan region, which, get this, has a population of 7 million people. That's about 40% of the country's population lives in Chile. And most of this city is situated between 500 to 600 meters above sea level. It was founded in 1541 by Spanish conquistador Pedro de Valdivia and served as the capital of Chile since colonial times. The city has a downtown core of 19th century neoclassical architecture and winding side streets, featuring a mix of different architectural styles like Art Deco and Neo-Gothic. It's also defined by its several standalone hills and the fast-flowing Mapocho River. You can also see the Andes Mountains from most parts of the city, and that causes Santiago to have a huge issue with smog. That's a big problem. In the outskirts, you have vineyards, and it's a mountain drive to both the mountains and the Pacific Ocean, as well as being the political and financial center of Chile. Many multinational corporations have their regional headquarters here too. And finally, for the government, you can find the executive and judiciary branch here. But the Congress actually meets in nearby Valparaiso, is where it's at. Yeah. Grandparent says there's a lot of jobs in aviation that are lesser known. Just met a guy who's an aircraft dispatcher. Yeah, like there's a lot of aviation jobs people don't know, and that is one of them. You get all sorts of pretty unusual jobs and stuff, but those type of stuff is very, very important to know about for sure. In terms of its issues, smog is an issue, and that's because, in fact, smog's gotten even worse since 2022, since 2002. And one of the major problems in Santiago is the copper mine smelter, El Tenerife, which operates year-round, and a lot of that smog. And a lot of that smog and air pollution is trapped during the winter months because of thermal inversion, causes a huge smog and air pollution problem. And like I said, the Andes Mountains do not help it with the pollution. But yeah, Santiago definitely from the mountains, you can definitely see it's definitely a pretty area for sure. There's also got lots of public transports. You can find a lot of the vehicles here in the city, as well as the metro system, rail, bus, and more. As well as having a very rich culture, though only a few historical buildings still remain due to the fact it's earthquakes. This area gets a lot of earthquakes. Gets quite a bit of earthquakes because, well, if you know anything about Chile, it's part of the Pacific Ring of Fire, so it's going to get lots and lots of earthquakes. But still, though, there's tons of heritage sites and cultural activities and museums all across the city. So there are plenty of landmarks in the city. Here's a few. In the picture is La Moneda, known as the Coin Palace, because it actually used to be where the mint was made for the treasury. However, nowadays is where the president of Chile has offices. Also, several other key government officials have offices in the structure, and it takes a whole block in downtown Santiago. Yeah, this thing takes a whole bleeping block. So, outside of that, though, the next one is Santiago Metropolitan Cathedral. First began in 1748 and has since dominated the square. The stone neoclassic cathedral is considered to be one of the best examples of religious architecture in South America. Though it's still one of the only ones standing because obviously this area gets a lot of earthquakes. And finally, the Cerro Santa Lucia, initially used by missionaries as a place of worship. It later housed two forts, and where Santiago was founded in 1541, when they founded Santiago. But there's also lots of other areas like San Cristobal Hill. You have Santa Lucia Hill, O'Higgins Park, and more. But there's tons of really cool landmarks in the city of Santiago. So I'm going to go ahead and start descending down to 4,000 feet. So I'm going to go ahead and descend to 4,000. I'm going to go ahead and descend to 4,000. So we'll get ready to enter Santiago. But this is crazy, though. Look at all the mountains. That's crazy. Scenery here is absolutely crazy up here in Santiago. This region is just crazy. But yeah, I'm so lucky to do some scenery here. Today, the scenery in this flight's been outstanding today. Yeah, Chile, man. I mean, oh, Murph's on right now. Oh, this would be perfect then. If Murph's on, we're gonna raid his channel afterwards. We're gonna raid Tuto Murphy, give him a hello. From beautiful Chile. But yeah, I really enjoy this flight, guys. This is an absolute awesome flight. Greatly enjoy this time with you guys. So. But yeah, I'm hoping to get started on my VATSIM training soon. Like I'm trying to learn some of this stuff. Like that's a lot of information, so hopefully I get to learn some of the different lessons and stuff. But that way I can learn how to do VATSIM. Once I do that, that opens up a lot more options for some of my streams. I don't think I can do all the events. I want to keep it simple, but hopefully if I get confident enough, I get to do some of the VATSIM events. Probably around the United States. So, but I think the plan for next week is going to be Wednesday. It's probably going to be more shuttle operations. But this time I'm going to be doing it out of our hub, actually in the United Kingdom. Actually, it's going to be out of Dublin, of course. It's going to be Dublin to Bristol, which is probably going to be pretty cool. Dublin to Bristol should be a pretty short route, but I feel like that would be pretty cool. And I think I'm gonna have to get myself the Bristol scenery for it. I need to grab that from the Orbex store. I need to grab that scenery. I have to download it, and I've flown out of it quite a lot of times. Yeah, Batsim's not bad at all in Louisville. Well, the thing is, Red Baron, I'm gonna have to do a lot of Batsim flights for my virtual airline. I'm gonna be in Pittsburgh. But yeah, Pittsburgh Louisville might not be a bad idea for IFR stuff. And I know we got a really good controller here too. SCW is in Louisville. He's the main controller for where I live. Is SCW, which here's his channel. If you guys are interested. It's STW's channel. Good friend of mine as well, and he's a Batsim controller himself from Louisville. But yeah, I might do some. I know Foxtrot's done some Batsim stuff around where he's at. My good friend Flox, so he does a lot of Batsim stuff out of Louisville. He also does. I think he also does Nashville as well and Cincinnati, but mainly it's Louisville. So he's done plenty of other stuff too. Yeah, he's a great dude, and he'll definitely help me out with Louisville and all that. Yeah, that's right too. I want to do some Batsim stuff eventually. I gotta work on my mic and all that. I gotta work on that. So yeah, finally, before we get to Santiago, before we get to the city, there is one final slide before we enter the metropolitan area. And the last slide for today. Don't always have ATC, but hey, that's what we need. And finally is Arturo Moreno Benitez Airport. It's located in Santiago, and it's the largest aviation facility and busiest international airport in Chile. It provides international and domestic and international services to destinations in Europe, Oceania, Africa for cargo, Asia, and the Americas. It's currently the 9th busiest airport in Latin America and the 6th busiest in South America by passenger traffic. Um, it's a major hub for LATAM Chile, which is LATAM Airlines, and Sky Airline. And we'll be talking about LATAM Airlines on Sunday, because if you wonder where LATAM was based, it was based off of here in Chile. It's also a great place for, in fact, Santiago is actually the longest nonstop destination for most European carriers, including Iberia, Air France, and British Airways. Yes, they do. Yes, they do long haul flights between them, and I mean, but get this, it's not just also from. In fact, the flights actually are 14-hour flights from British Airways. Take around 14 hours, which is pretty insane for a flight between Santiago and London. Also, this is also Latin America's gateway to Oceania, because this thing also flies to Sydney, Melbourne, Auckland, and Easter Island as well. So this area serves a surprisingly large number of destinations. Got 2 runways, 17 right and 35 left, and 17 left, 35 right. They're both around 12,467 feet. And 2022 served 20 million passengers, which is pretty crazy. And they've been expanding this airport quite a bit. But yeah, this place serves a ton of destinations. Domestically, they serve Antofagasta, Punta Arenas, Puerto Montt, in Concepcion. And the international destinations, I mean, in South America, you got Bogota, Medellin, Buenos Aires, Sao Paulo, Rio de Janeiro, Quito. Then North America, Mexico City, Toronto, Miami, Atlanta. Europe, like Amsterdam, Paris, London, Madrid, and yes, it's even served Oceania, like Sydney, Auckland. But basically, what I'm trying to say is that this airport serves a lot of areas. It's a crazy airport. Hey, We Fly Daily, good to see you, my dude. If you guys haven't checked out We Fly Daily, he's a really good friend of mine on the channel. He does a lot of jet ops. He provides a lot of the military jet stuff on both this sim and DCS. If you're interested in checking that out, check out his channel. Good to see you, my dude. We're about to enter Chile's capital city of Santiago. So yeah, by the way, this metropolitan area is around home to 40% of Chile's population, which is a lot of people. Um, so yeah, a bit more news as well. So I know next. Hey, Balmer, good to see you. Hello, hello, Balmer. We're entered Santiago, Chile. But yeah, I really enjoy this time in Chile, man. This is one of the most beautiful countries we visited. So I gotta say, of all the countries we've flown to in the sim with the general aviation, I think Chile has been my favorite so far. I really enjoyed flying into Chile. That's absolutely gorgeous. I've really enjoyed all my flight time in Chile, man. That. You just need to have everything you want, and of course, so this is Santiago. I mean, crazy, another huge city. Again, we've been through quite a bit, many big cities here as well. Yeah, just imagine flying all the way from Latin America to Australia. That's pretty. In New Zealand, that's pretty crazy to fly all the way from Chile to Oceania. Normally, if you wanted to fly from the Americas to Australia, New Zealand, you would have to go from either Los Angeles or San Francisco, from LA or San Francisco to those places, and maybe even like Dallas, or you take a flight from Hawaii. But imagine flying all the way to South America. Pretty crazy in its own right. Pretty cool. Yeah, Chile is just absolutely gorgeous. Need I say more? Like I said, that's why I would like to take a trip down South America at some points. Get to visit downtown Santiago and stuff. But I know some go through Santiago on trips. I like to check that out, like get a tour of the city. Just incredible. Just breathtaking. I know I keep saying it, but I'm serious. The scenery in this area is. I mean, we're gonna get more of that. We're gonna get more of that Sunday. We're gonna get more of the scenery. But this time we'll be flying over Aconcagua, the tallest peak of Aconcagua, which is the tallest peak in South America. We'll be flying through a lot of this area. So here's Fantasia Land, which is the amusement park across here. And he gets some great music. So here's the Money Palace for over here. This is La Moneda, which is the house that the president lives. This is his office. There's the office of the president. He lives in this area. This is Cerro San Cristobal over here. It gives you a good look at the city too. I mean, this is. It features zoo, cable cars, a forest. Got lots of trails you can go up there. It's so cool, this city. I'm surprised this wasn't one of their choices for Firefly's South America home. I really enjoyed it. I get it though. I really like Tito. Tito's are really good. Well, guys, that's it, everyone. We're gonna go ahead and prepare for the landing in Santiago International. This is Arturo Benitez International. He's actually named after a one of the most well-known people in Chilean aviation. He's Commodore Arturo Benitez, who is the founder of the Chilean Air Force and the national airline of LATAM. And we'll get to know more about him starting tomorrow. Not tomorrow, Sunday. But basically, he has a long and proud aviation career in Chile. So, a very important guy. We'll learn more about that. We're going to go ahead and descend. We're going to land at runway 35. That's where we're going to be laying here today. Park. But yeah, I'm going to be excited for next week when we check out the rest of Chile. That will be on Sunday. Will be our last flight into Chile. I mean, I'm going to miss this place. Chile is absolutely incredible. I really recommend you guys. I mean, it's going to be 4 streams in Chile because we have the Jet flight, then we have the King Air, then we have this flight, and then we have the flight to northern Chile. Um, so many really cool places. I mean, so that's going to be awesome. I know Bolivia's going to be crazy. And speaking of Bolivia, before the stream this morning, I did do a really cool flight from Copacabana, uh, which is one of the large cities in Chile. Cochabamba, and I flew all the way to La Paz Airport. Which, if you guys don't know about La Paz, its airport is El Alto, and it basically is the highest airport in the world outside China. 13,000-foot elevation. Like, it is pretty insane altitude. But it was really beautiful, though. We got to see the Andes Mountains through the elevation stuff. Crazy. Head around. This, you guys, is the final landing of the day. Oh yeah, there is a scenery for this. LVFR has a Santiago scenery for Santiago. Negative 120. That is a great. What a great landing. What a great landing. We're going to go ahead and turn here. Man, welcome to Santiago. Man, that was an absolutely fun flight. Can't wait to do some stuff out of here. This would be nice. Well, there you go, guys. I'm going to go ahead and turn off the in. Guys, Welcome to Santiago, everyone. Guys, this was an awesome trip. Absolute blast. Guys, thank you all so much for coming here today, man. This was an absolutely gorgeous flight. I thought this would have been a normal type of GA flight, but no, it had to be amazingly beautiful. So, guys, thank you all so much for coming here today on this Friday stream. Thanks to you guys for the new follows and everything. Guys, it's just a massive thank you. So, guys, we will be back on Sunday. We'll be travel to Antofagasta for our last stream in Chile. Take care, everyone, and have a great rest of the day. And make sure we're going to say hi to Two-Tone Murphy for us, guys. Give everyone a warm welcome. So take care, everyone, and have a fantastic rest of your Friday.